Bitcoin is close to becoming worthless.
Let's go. Now, what's the Bitcoin?
Bitcoin's like rat poison.
Yeah. Oh,
The greatest scam in history.
let's get it.
Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
Yeah.
Alright, you ungovernable misfits. I'm your host, Max. Everybody knows that Bitcoin is useless, worthless, and doomed to fail. But what if everyone's wrong? What if it's the system that is doomed to fail? Join me as I speak to some of the brightest people in the space and slither to the deepest, darkest depths of the Bitcoin rabbit hole. Today, on Bit by Bit, I speak to Kevin Ravensberg and Pretyflaco. We talk about ideas like flames and the decentralized Bitcoin art movement. We talk about the Lightning Network and the Bitcoin awareness game. I really enjoyed chatting to these two guys and I love what they're doing. It's only recently that I've been really playing around with the Lightning Network, and to be honest with you, it's absolutely blowing me away. If you're still sat on the sidelines and haven't used the Lightning Network yet, don't be ashamed. Go check out my latest episode with Bitcoin Q&A, learn about the Lightning Network, and then go to CoinFloor UK, check the link in the show notes, go and buy yourself some sats, and have a play. Enjoy. Welcome to Bit by Bit, Kevin and Pretyflaco. It's a pleasure to finally speak to you. We've been chatting behind the scenes for a few days now, and I've been looking through what you guys are doing, and it is very, very impressive. So for anyone who doesn't know who you are or hasn't followed Ideas Are Like Flames, can you introduce yourselves and introduce what it is that you're doing, please?
Yeah, maybe I go first. I go by the name of Pretyflaco. That's my Twitter handle and my Telegram handle. And I'm a Bitcoiner, and I live in Bavaria. I'm Bavarian, but I'm not German. So, yeah, I think so. What I'm doing is currently managing the Bitcoin awareness game and the Twitter account, the channel that is basically working closely with together with Bitcoin street art that is basically posting photos of the Bitcoin awareness game. And but not only that, but it's basically an account that is specialized on posting street art about Bitcoin that can be graffitis, stencils, or stickers in the streets. Yeah, so everyone can send if they see a sticker of or a graffiti or nice, I don't know, in the public out there, something about Bitcoin that raises awareness for Bitcoin. They can make a photo and send it in, and the account then shares it basically.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm Kevin. So I'm one of the Bitcoiners that found the Ideas Are Like Flames initiative early on, and it really re-sparked an interest in me. So I've always wanted to like do a sticker action to sort of expose the fraud in the banking system and maybe hitting ATMs, but I never really got around to it. I've had these ideas like around 2016. So yeah, when I saw the Bitcoin awareness game that Pretyflaco I think initiated to sort of crowdfund like anyone on the world to send in pictures of street art and stickers. It's it's something that I immediately thought of. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to do like a long time ago. I'm gonna do it. So I dove in, ordered some stickers, and then I think within a week, within a few days, I got a whole bunch of stickers, and then a week later I was out of stickers, and and yeah, that's how I got started here.
So when you're saying like 2016, you were already wanting to raise awareness to sort of the fuckery that goes on in the banking system and our current financial system. Was that something that were these ideas and beliefs that were held prior to learning about Bitcoin, or were you already a Bitcoiner?
So I wouldn't call myself a Bitcoiner at that point, but I had run and received like some Satoshis. So I'd run a Bitcoin node in 2013 already, and then from like a faucet, I got my first 3,000 Satoshis for free, and just to learn about the technology, and after that I let it be for a bit because there was a lot of hype with the price. I thought it was a bit high. And then I forgot about it for a while. And in 2016, I was part of a group here in Utrecht, in the Netherlands, that was discussing the system. In Dutch, it's called the Ons Systeem group. It's we're no longer getting together, but it was a group of people that were worried about like the failures of our current system. That, of course, included the abuse of the banking system on the people, and monetary inflation was sometimes discussed because there's a small elite that prints all the money and then gets to distribute it, and the unfair side effects going with it was something I was discussing at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the further down the rabbit hole you fall and the more you sort of get obsessed and interested in this stuff, the more you realize that the whole thing is just a complete and utter scam and that everyone's time is being stolen. I don't know about you guys, but like I've got to the point now where it just really pisses me off when I think about it. Like you think about these people going on with their lives, and you were saying about putting the stickers on their cash points. They're going there to draw out their cash, and they're not really realizing that they're putting in all this work and they're being stolen from. And it's a really sick and twisted game that's being played. So did you sort of get to a point where you just thought, right, how are we going to raise awareness and that stickers and street art was the way forward, or did you already have a background in art and this kind of stuff previously?
Yeah, so for me, I'm like a physicist, so I don't really have art background other than that I made some art in secondary school. But yeah, I actually did actively like design a couple of things. Like I took bank logos and like made some like funny or like exposing statements with them. But I never got to like print them and sticker them. I guess I was a bit too scared of the. I didn't want to be associated with bank robbers, or I didn't want the police harassing me. And, so yeah.
Yeah, and has it come with any problems putting these stickers out and doing these things? Have you had any issues with anybody, or has it all gone fairly smoothly and under the radar?
Yeah. So so the first stickers that I put out here, actually I've only had some guys in the car like point at me and say, and then like shake with their finger like, oh, you're and then while smiling driving by like, oh, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't put stickers here on the traffic lights. But I put them there anyway. Or actually I should say somebody put them there, and I was just making a picture of it, of course.
Yeah, as for me, I have never ever applied a Bitcoin sticker anywhere ever.
Yeah,
But I'm
I
seeing
believe
them
you.
all the time in the streets, and I just can't help but share it when I see that, because I find it really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we would definitely believe you, and I've never shared any memes or put any stickers anywhere either. And don't take anything I say too seriously. I don't really believe that Bitcoin is better than the current system. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so okay, and it sounds like this is something that's growing, and you've got, because you sent me some information about what was going on in Venezuela and some other bits. Is this something that is spreading quickly and more people are getting involved in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially in Spanish-speaking countries and in Brazil, the game is getting quite some traction. It helped probably that There are Spanish and Portuguese dubs of the video explainer for the Bitcoin awareness game. So these are circulating now on different social media platforms, and also YouTubers from Brazil and from Venezuela are basically learning about this and directly communicating it in their channels again, finding exactly the right audience, namely Bitcoiners from around the world who could be interested to contribute. And seems like South America has, and Middle and North America as well. We know about the United States, right? There is a lot of Bitcoiners, especially on Twitter, very loud about Bitcoin all the time. But we don't really hear too much about Bitcoiners from other places, but they are there. And now, all of a sudden, they are becoming visible. And we're getting messages from Bitcoiners or comments on tweets of Bitcoin street art. You can see it that people are surprised there are Bitcoiners in their little village, in somewhere in Spain or somewhere in Switzerland, or it's just some tiny village in Austria. But Bitcoiners are everywhere, and they prefer to stay private, and rightly so, as good as they can in this times where surveillance is just universal. So in this game, they can find a way to basically show themselves without doxing themselves, and they can spread a message, basically not really trying to convince or persuade, but just create a little bit of awareness for someone who is curious and looking around, walking the streets with both eyes open, and trying to understand things, just igniting some curiosity. I think this is just really fundamental for the understanding of Bitcoin. You can't really make someone else understand Bitcoin. They need to be curious to want to learn about Bitcoin. And maybe left and right, people, there would be maybe a lot more Bitcoiners if they understood what Bitcoin is all about and what you can do with it, how useful it is. But there are many misconceptions out there, and I blame media mostly for it, who are a little bit tied with politicians and governments here and there. I mean, obviously the state-sponsored media here in Germany, or probably also the BBC.
Yeah, definitely.
In vivid communication with the reigning politicians. So, and I think, from what I understand, I think Bitcoin is not good for governments, and so they have an interest to basically spread misinformation, to basically extend the period of fiat and Bitcoin parallelity a little bit into the future, until they can maybe, I don't know, start some countermeasures on how to deal with the problem of Bitcoin that it is for governments. And so I think there is a vested interest not to report the truth about Bitcoin. I think 5 years ago, maybe there were not many journalists who understood it really or could explain it at all. Now we have those, but they refuse to do so. And I think street art is a very Bitcoin-esque way of communicating. It's hard to censor. It's peer to peer, or peer to many peers. If a sticker or a graffiti is placed well, then many people can see it. So, and it's very cost efficient way as well. So, you don't need a lot to do it, and you just need some coordination, maybe. So, and the Bitcoin awareness game was basically just doing that, helping Bitcoiners to coordinate, to find a place where they can exchange ideas, where they can download stickers or make their own. And
Yeah, exactly. This was important for me. Yeah, they get some nice designs.
exactly, because I'm sure there are many Bitcoiners around the world who are thinking, man, how can I spread the word about Bitcoin? It's so awesome. I don't know how. And they can just download a PDF now and print it in their printer or their local sticker shop, and create a little bit of awareness somewhere. especially where they are living with their neighbors and the people, the places that they walk by every day. They can look for stickers and make photos of them and share it on the internet for some extra awareness again, in the digital world. So bridging the gap between the offline and the online here, and trying to create a little buzz, I would say, and collecting the feedback that is coming, because I think Bitcoiners are really amazing people, and it's so much fun working together with them. We just understand each other blindly almost, and we don't even have to know each other. We don't even have to trust each other. We have that common goal, and now with the Lightning Network, cooperation is really easy. We can write tasks for others, and if they like the tasks, they can participate and earn some sats and stack some sats, which is not a lot at the moment. It's just 615 Satoshi payout at the moment, but the Bitcoin price has just risen. So it used to be US dollar cents, and when the game started, and now it's already at US dollar cents, the payout. And I'm sure it will get to 10 cents one day, and maybe it will also get to $1 very shortly. I mean, who knows? It goes so fast, and these things change, and I'm looking forward to correcting the price down when that happens.
Can you talk me through the game? So for someone who hasn't played it and is listening to this and they're thinking, oh, this all sounds very cool. Like, yeah, I love Bitcoin. Yeah, I want this to succeed. Yeah, fuck the banks. Well, how do they play this and how do they get involved?
I think the easiest way is to start on ideasarelikeflames.com. Have a look around on the site. There is a nice feed of Bitcoin street art posts on the main page and some information about the Bitcoin awareness game. Then on the right-hand side, there is a sandwich menu where there's a sticker library in 3 languages currently. So it's English, Spanish, and Portuguese. And there are high DPI PDFs that are open source, and everyone can download them and send a print task to their printer, ideally color printer, and take some tape and put it somewhere they like, which is not their fridge, but a public place where some other passerbys can see it. Ideally, I mean, there are some better places that are more suitable. There are some techniques that are more sustainable, I would say. So having a sticker printed in a local print shop is probably the best way to do it, because those are they have the glue on it, so you don't have to use a tape like many in Mexico do. But not everyone has the local print shop available to them, so everyone is just helping themselves the way they can. And if you take a photo of that sticker and send it in the microlancer.io, that's a site where you can basically earn some satoshis for doing small tasks, and you're basically getting paid over the Lightning Network. And there's many tasks. Some are good, some are worse. Our task is one of the top tasks there, and it's called take a photo of a Bitcoin sticker in a public place and send it in. So that's basically the task name. And then there's a description on how to do this, and basically really step-by-step description on what to do and how to do it. And when the photo is basically submitted and reaches us, the Bitcoin awareness gamer can tag the task as, how do you call it? Confirmed? Completed. Completed.
So you
And
complete it.
and then we check the results, and if the photo is cool and it's not a sticker of some strange coin, but of the real original Bitcoin, then we share it, and the Bitcoin awareness gamer gets to stack some sats, and that's just it. And
if they send in some shit coin or horrible, dirty fork of Bitcoin, do they get a fine or what happens to them?
I don't think we can find people. No.
I think so. This hasn't happened. No one has ever sent, I don't know, some other coins photo or something. I don't even think any other coin has a sticker, so it doesn't really matter. So it's not worth really disgusting because I'm not sure how many submissions there have been, but there's never been anything else but Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's good. I'm going to have to get on this. I don't have a printer, but I know I have a local print shop, so I'm going to go and cause some carnage around where I am because I haven't noticed a lot of stickers around here, but there must be some other Bitcoiners.
Yeah, Bitcoin is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
That's for sure. And I think you don't even have to run a Lightning node to receive the funds for the task, right? So only at the point you want to get paid out or withdraw the funds from the microlancer site, then you have to choose, I guess, like run a Lightning node and have an incoming inbound channel, or how does that work?
Yeah, actually, so what I personally really like about the Bitcoin awareness game is it's a really nice way, hands-on way to get started with using Bitcoin with really small amounts, and where you don't really have to or lose anything, or you actually have the opportunity to earn some Bitcoin for a really small, easy, fun task. And it's basically when someone asks me about Bitcoin, this is my go-to thing that I tell them. It's just, you know what, if you're interested, take a look at the site and earn Bitcoin there. So why do you want to pay anything for that if you don't know about it, if you have no clue how it works, and if you have to read up? But as everyone really into Bitcoin can confirm, is that you really learn when you put your hands onto it, when you send a transaction and receive one, and feel the power of peer-to-peer digital electronic cash that has no intermediaries and cannot be shut down and not be censored. And it's just a thing of beauty using Bitcoin. And it enables amazing cooperation around the world. So people are getting paid in Venezuela, in Brazil. It's in a matter of seconds, and leaving feedback that they think the game is amazing. And I think it's a good way to onboard new users and help them learn about it by really practicing Bitcoin and not reading about it and watching talks of Andreas Antonopoulos, but hands on and go out and do it and get some rewards.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to do it. And like you say, it's only when you start using this stuff that you really get those aha moments, and you just think like, wow, this stuff is so cool. It's all great in theory, but when you actually use it, you realize just how powerful it is.
So I guess you both have a Lightning Network node running too, right?
Yes.
Already. Very good.
More than one.
More than one, huh? Even more than
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah. I started late. Well, early with the Lightning nodes, but late with the Bitcoin nodes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my main motivation to get a Bitcoin node was because I wanted to play around with Lightning, and
Oh, wow.
so before that, I didn't really understand why anybody would run a node. So I was a noob, yeah, I learned a little bit by reading and listening to discussions on Twitter about it. I asked some OGs, and they explained some things well. But really, the system seller for me was the Lightning Network. So I started to build the Raspberry Bolt by Stadicus, which is a proto Raspberry Blitz. So the Raspberry
Yeah.
Blitz is basically derived from the Raspberry Bolt, and I think in late 2018, yeah, 2018 late, I managed to build my first Raspberry Bolt with a Raspberry Pi 3 and a 500 gigabyte SSD hard disk. And it took me like 3 months, until I could basically receive a payment.
Yeah.
And I was so happy when I managed it. And there were so many troubles that I had to go through, talk to my ISP and change stuff.
Yeah.
And all
The
this
learning
pain is
curve.
now gone. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so I still have that Raspberry Bolt is still running, by the way, and it's working perfectly. I have my Electrum personal server on it, to which I can connect with my Electrum wallet, without leaking any information if I want to look up my balances and stuff. So it's really robust, running for over 2 years now, almost. But I also have a Raspberry Blitz, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so which is my go-to Lightning and Bitcoin full node. I think it's an amazing project that solidifies Bitcoin in the best way. And it makes it accessible and gives tools for privacy enhancements like coin joins with join market. It has BTCPayserver. Now it's running over Tor. It's way better than a Swiss bank in your pocket. It's
Yeah,
just amazing, and you can
that's it.
connect to it with your mobile wallet and pay from the go while the node is in a secure place. And yeah, I'm just totally in love with it. And as soon as I understood that the Lightning Network works and can scale Bitcoin, I just went all in with everything. I just thought, okay, this is it, and I have never been disappointed so far. It just keeps growing, keeps getting better. I can't remember when the last payment failed, really, and I'm just fascinated every day I use it. Due to the Bitcoin awareness game, I have to use it like multiple times a day and to pay basically out the bounties to the photographers, and it's just super smooth. And I can't even imagine what could be better currently, but I hear there are a lot of improvements still coming, and but yeah, I'm a big fan of the Lightning Network.
So it's really maturing, the Lightning Network at the moment. So I remember that when I started like running my Lightning node, I first had to like run it on testnet because that's the only thing that was active in was like the end of 2017 and then early 2018. You could, if you dare to, these were the people that were like reckless. You could change the configuration file manually. You had to like dig in the, like a config file and write type in several extra commands and extra like change from testnet to mainnet, and then you could hack your way. Like if you were clever and you could read between the lines, you could hack your way to start using this on mainnet, and it was like my geek moment when I got it to work, and I wrote a little guide on how to do it, and I had to choose. There were 3 implementations at the beginning. I thought, well, let's choose like the European implementation. So there's a French company Async that had built the Eclair node, and so this is the implementation I got running back then. I'm still running it. It's like the updated version. So I've been on mainnet for more than I think 2.5 years now. I've been on Lightning Network, so it's pretty amazing that my funds haven't been stolen. It's not an advertisement for hackers to go and try, but I mean they told me it was unsafe to keep 1 million sats in a hot wallet, but it's yeah, I guess it's until now. Like fingers crossed. It's I've not been hacked. So
Yeah, I'm running the other 2 implementations, so C Lightning and LND. So I have the Raspberry Bolt and the Raspberry Blitz are LND both, and then I
yeah.
also have a C Lightning on a VPS, and I'm super happy with both. And also, when I noticed that it's possible to receive payments, I took the initiative and helped a cafe in my hometown here in Munich to accept Lightning payments. That was on the 12th of February 2019 as a after party for the Bitcoin Tech Days here in Munich, which was a conference about yeah Bitcoin privacy. So Adam Fixer from Wasabi Wallet was there, and also many people working on the Lightning Network. And I thought that was my chance, basically, when there is a lot of Lightning node users on a conference, to basically kick off the first Lightning bar here in town. And yeah, it's been running smoothly ever since. On the 1st of August, we had our Bitcoin Independence Day celebration there with the Munich meetup, or Bitcoin Meetup Munich, which is one of the oldest Bitcoin meetups in the world, by the way. But I only found out about them after the fact, when the first Lightning bar opened up and the people came to the after party. So I didn't even know before that there was a Bitcoin meetup in my town. And yeah, ever since it's become a place where Bitcoiners here well meet and have a beer and some drinks and some food, and and listen to some music and celebrate some Bitcoin holidays like the Pizza Day or the Independence Day or yeah, there are some others, but we just got started with the Independence Day. So
Hi, that
that
sounds very good. So we have like a similar meetup recently in the Netherlands as well. From it's like called the Bitcoin meetup. So I'm hoping at the next Bitcoin meetup there was promised to be somewhere this month on the beach in the Netherlands. That I can bring a whole stack of stickers and give everyone a bunch of stickers so they can all help
Nice.
with the awareness game. And I also want to, since you mentioned the Wasabi wallet, so to tell a little bit more. So, like on the other, like the side next to the sticker game, I've also been very happy to stack some sets by helping with the contribution game for Wasabi. So actually, there's multiple like software initiatives out there that even if you are not a developer, but if you can just help debug some code or just test like a release candidate, you can earn quite a lot of satoshis just for helping people test new software to get all the bugs out. So I managed to find a critical bug, and I got a
Really?
payout. I think I got like 13% of the total contribution game reward this week.
nice.
I've never actually used Wasabi. I've only ever really used Samurai. How's your experience been with them?
So yeah, but the Wasabi wallet I like a lot because it's well my go-to interface for working with hardware wallets now. Before you had to like use Electrum wallet for that, since it was the first wallet that really nicely interfaced with I think it had like the HWI or the hardware wallet interface
Mhm.
running. Only recently it's been included in Bitcoin Core, but I, well, I haven't found the GUI button that does it, but there's supposed to be a GUI thingy in the Bitcoin Core as well to work with hardware wallets. I haven't found it. So yeah, with Wasabi, it's just very intuitive. You just say, well, I want to connect a new hardware wallet, and then you can either import like from the cold card the was it like the public key XPub,
Mhm.
or you if you have a ledger or Trezor, you can connect it and detect it and import the keys that way. So it's yeah, it's a really nice wallet just for interfacing with hardware wallets, and then as a like a privacy benefit extra is the big coin join feature, which well allows you to sort of cut the ties from your exchange.
Mhm.
So
And you
it's
prefer that to Electrum to be able to speak to your hardware wallet. You prefer that to Electrum because that's my next task is to link my hardware wallet to, and I've been told I'll use Electrum to do that and just export the XPub to that. But you're not the first person who's mentioned Wasabi as an alternative, and like I mean everyone has their different opinions, but I just don't know what is best. I really don't.
yeah, I mean both are fine. With the I think that like the experience I have with Electrum is that you sort of have to run this Electrum private server together with it, and to be able to view the balances on all the addresses of your hardware wallet. And you can then do that in Bitcoin Core. But with Wasabi Wallet, it speaks to your own Bitcoin node, so you can. If you're running a Bitcoin node on the machine that you're running Wasabi on, it will automatically detect that. And if you're running it on like a separate server or on a Raspberry Pi, you can input the IP address and the port that will use to speak to the node. So you can just define your node in the software that will talk to and get the information from. It uses Tor by default. So there's a whole bunch of privacy. What's it benefits from using Wasabi Wallet out of the box compared to Electrum Wallet out of the box.
Hmm.
Let me just
Interesting.
jump in here for a second, since we're nerding out a bit.
Oh yeah.
I think I think it's one major disadvantage of having your Bitcoin Core full node on a laptop or your machine is that it's not always on. And
Well,
when you want to access your funds quickly and haven't done or run your machine for quite some time, then the node will have to catch up, which may be
yeah.
a short time. But that is a reason why I prefer to have my Bitcoin full node on a always on device like a Raspberry Pi 4, as it is in the basically Raspberry Blitz or also in the MyNode, and I don't know, some others as well. The Casa,
Run a my node and really like it.
yeah. So it's always on, it's always synchronizing, it's always receiving blocks. And if you open Electrum and connect to your either Electrum Rust server or EPS, then you instantly have your basically data for your query and without leaking any privacy and not waiting. So I think this is a little advantage over having Bitcoin Core and Wasabi wallet combination on a laptop, which may be off for maybe, I don't know, a day, a week, a month. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, so actually, I run my desktop 24/7. That's
Yeah.
it's not it's not very easy on the what's it, the power bill, on the electricity bill, but it's worth it. So I actually have a Raspberry Pi 4 lying right here on my desk. So it's been my intention to like boot up one of these easy all-in-one packaged nodes, and then also play a bit around with LND. And
Go for it.
yeah, yeah, it's I've had it. I've started it once, and then it was like very early on. It didn't really work as good as I
Maybe I
wanted
should
to.
write a task on Microlancer and incentivize people to build their own node with
Yeah,
1,000 Satoshi,
Oh, I
because
like.
yeah,
it
as a
does
first payout.
wonders. As we see, it's just a little bit of activation energy to keep the
I'll
the
definitely do it
hackers
then.
going.
Yeah, if there's a task, I'm definitely gonna do it.
I'm writing it right now.
Perfect.
Yeah, I like that. It's one of those things that it takes some time sometimes. Like you say, you've got it lying around. I did the same thing and ummed and ahed and didn't know what one to go for. And I spent loads of time just deliberating. And then once I'd made the decision, I actually really enjoyed like messing around and setting it up. And, I'm not a hugely technical guy, but I really enjoyed it. Like it was just an evening to fuck around with some stuff, and now it allows me to do so much more. And I think a lot of the time it's just people are a little bit scared or worried about doing it in case they make a mistake. But there's so many amazing videos and talk and walkthroughs, and I've just done a talk with, I don't know if you know, Bitcoin Q&A.
Yeah, I've listened to it.
Yeah, so we've been doing a couple of episodes and talking through like how to set up your node and which ones to go for and stuff. And all this stuff is just getting easier and easier by the day. And it makes me excited to know that when people do come and they do realize that this is a better system, that the tools are now there and they're so much easier than they were a few years ago.
Yeah, you definitely have to go one or two hoops, but when I think back about the time when I was building the node, I was getting home from work around, I don't know, 6 or 7 p.m., just cooking a little bit of dinner and then back to the computer screen and to the Raspberry Pi, trying to get it right, watching tutorials, reading documentations. And the quality, as you have mentioned, has dramatically increased in the meantime, just like the implementations themselves. And so, and there are scripted versions like the Raspberry Blitz, the MyNode, and stuff. So it's just as easy as really flashing an SD card. That's about it. Basically, you don't really need any more skills. You just have to download, for example, Balena Etcher and
Yeah.
have a SD card ready and flash it with the image that you can download from GitHub or another source. Uh, of course, you have to check the checksum that everything is fine and put it into your Raspberry Pi, plug some power into it and an SSD, and just wait. That's it until the
Yeah.
node syncs. And after, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, if you're not running over Tor, but if you're running over Tor, it may take a little bit longer. then you are a full Bitcoin, first class Bitcoin citizen, and you
Yeah.
have taken sovereignty, and you have taken back your sovereignty and your liberty on how what should happen with your labor stored in, and your time stored in Bitcoin, in a
Yeah,
currency that is free and cannot be diluted, and that is just so empowering for every individual. And I'm congratulating every person who has gone through the journey and is now helping others to do it. Because for me personally, I'm a computer guy in a way, like I'm interested in it, but I'm not a programmer or a developer. I can use stuff. I like to play around with it and tingle with it until it works or doesn't. But then I look for help on the internet. There are amazing forums, very helpful people, especially Bitcoiners are very helpful. For example, Open Arms, he has helped me. He's working on he's one of the maintainers of the Raspberry Blitz project. He is just an angel. He is helping so many people with awesome patience, and big shout outs to him. And
Yeah, he was on the show 3 or 4 episodes ago, and he is a brilliant. He's just, yeah, like you say, so helpful and so nice.
yeah, absolutely, I love that guy. And also Rootsol, who basically initiated the Raspberry Blitz project, is an awesome guy. Also a big fan of Bitcoin street art, as I have heard the birds sing. And yeah, basically very much support from all ends for those who want to get involved, who want to learn more about it. I think this is as perfect as a time as it gets to learn more about this. And yeah, since everyone is in lockdown and working only part-time or whatever, just people should really think about how they want to spend that time. My advice and recommendation is to learn about Bitcoin, and learn it from the right sources. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff flying around the internet that is not the truth, and
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So yeah, was it the bitcoin-only.com, right? Is a good one to start at, and the bitcoin.page. It's a bunch of good overviews, right?
Yeah,
They're open
yeah,
source and everyone contributes to.
yeah. They're both very good. Yeah, there's so much now, and
Yeah.
I've also found just the more people you speak to, and the more channels you join in Telegram, and the more people you link up with in Twitter, it gets to a stage where, or certainly for me now, where like I used to be shitting myself about doing something. And you can just sort of reach out and say, look, this is where I've got to, this is where I'm stuck, as long as you've given it a go. And people are more than happy to help. And that's amazing. It's what I just literally had yesterday. I had some issues linking my Whirlpool GUI up to my MyNode so that it all runs from my phone, and like I can keep mixing without using my phone and all that. And I had a couple of issues, and within 10 minutes it was sorted just from reaching out. And like, you don't get that in other industries. You don't have that with other people. It's not normal for people to be this helpful.
No. Yeah, it's so I'm actually like pretty good at breaking stuff. So I like I regularly like break a software, and then like what if you just like open an issue, like typically these are like open source softwares, and then they're on GitHub, and then you can just log in there like whenever you have a problem, you just like mention it in an issue.
Mhm.
And that's even how many devs start out. Like they have an issue with the software, like they run into something in the user interface, and they think, oh well, this is very confusing, and then they make an issue, and then well, if they can code, they sometimes even solve the issue, and that's how they can get started.
Yeah, this open source stuff is pretty amazing. Like, I love the collaborative nature. It just seems to work so much. It's so much nicer to be involved in this kind of stuff than it is in other industries that I've been involved in, and doing other things I've been involved in. Like, for the most part, I found a lot of people I was interacting with just to be fucking assholes, to be honest with you. And I've just never had that with people that I speak to within Bitcoin. And I don't know whether it's that we're all excited about this stuff, and we think this can change the world, and we see the
Yeah.
potential, and that's why we're all pushing. Or
So either we all share a delusion, or
yeah,
or or we're was it manifesting the idea of sound money through simulating the idea on the internet, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And so, obviously, you guys are, just from geeking out with you now, you are really seriously into this stuff and have been for a while. What was it that piqued your interest? How did it happen that you don't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to dedicate all my time and energy to Bitcoin"? Like there has to be a reason that sparks the interest. What happened and when was it?
Mm,
Well, I think for
yeah.
me, the moment when I understood what I really like about Bitcoin,
Yeah.
that was basically when I was thinking that there is not many things that reach all the people in the world. So maybe we have
Hmm.
love, we have music, but also money. And if so, everyone basically in the world uses money day in and day out. That's I don't know, 7.5 billion people or what. So
Hmm.
every transaction, half of it is money. And if that money is broken or sick or I don't know, rotten
Corrupt.
or just bad and deteriorates over time, and you can't store value in it, or Europeans coming to Africa can basically flood your market with a glass beads and buy all your stuff and enslave you,
Mm.
then that is pretty a big lever that affects all humans and how they live together in a negative way. And so it's basically the best tool, in my opinion, to make the world a better place, um, by allowing people to store their work um, in something that does not disappear over time, like an apple that rots away if you don't eat it right away, but something that you can really where you can transport your value and your work and your merit into the future and even inherit to your children. So
Hmm.
if you can do that, then that changes something with the human being. And many economists or philosophers agree that having the ability to plan into the future and have a low time preference, as Austrians like to call it, is the starting point of civilization. And if you take that away, this ability, then there is the opposite um, of civilization, in my opinion. And so that
Hmm.
was basically my starting point. Basically, that's also what the first sticker says: "Fix the money, fix the world." Um,
Yeah.
I think it's a truth. I'm not really sure who coined it in the end. I think Marty Bent of Tales from the
Yeah.
Crypt was played a big role in
He
popularizing the
popularized
term.
it, yeah.
And but when I heard it, the slogan, immediately resonated with me because it was a truth that I had known for myself without verbalizing, um, or I had just basically had that realization at that
Hmm.
time or earlier before I could coin it or put it in words. It resonated with me, and I think it's a very precise way to put Bitcoin's overarching mission. And when I knew that Bitcoin can't be censored and Lightning Network scales so that we can actually use it also as a medium of exchange, if we work on it for 1 or 2 years, then I had no more open questions actually.
Mm.
And ever since, I'm trying to find ways to basically spread the word about Bitcoin. I'm trying to remember myself which questions did I have, basically which did I need to solve, so I could advance to the understanding of Bitcoin that I have today. And there have been some questions, and I think it's worth thinking about this and trying to make it for new coiners as easy as possible to digest and to understand, so they can basically follow our path. And so we become more, and we're getting to a Bitcoin world sooner.
What about you, Kevin?
Yeah, for me, actually, for the ideology part about money, it started like with the Ubuntu movement, or the idea that the world doesn't need money at all. And I was completely fascinated by this. Like around 2015, it was I guess professed by a guy in South Africa, Michael Tellinger, and he sort of went around the world giving talks, like explaining, well, Bitcoin. He didn't really believe in Bitcoin. He didn't use it at the time, but he said money is like the thing that causes all the problems. So we should completely get rid of it. And I even visited him and went on a whole trip through South Africa, which was quite amazing. And I told him, well, what about like these digital tokens? Like at the moment, I had mined some Litecoin and that had my first touch with Bitcoin. So I mentioned, well, what about Bitcoin? What about these things? Like they don't really exist. They're not there, but you can still use it as a means of exchange. Yeah, so it's an intermediary, but it doesn't exist. So it's actually like the perfect replacement of money, because it doesn't exist. Like money anyway is always just an idea in that we share, and that it's like a what's it, a delusion of value, because any object is just valued as much as we believe it is worth. So why not use imaginary money instead, and then yeah, see if we can fix the world like that, and then you completely automate away all the things that currently requires an enormous financial system, which is the thing that he was fighting at the moment. And so I guess around that time, my idea started to form that Bitcoin could help and fix the money issues around the world. And then a whole bunch of years later, when I finally read the Bitcoin Standard by Seyfedin Amous, then it really landed, because before that I had not studied, I had not heard about Austrian economics. I didn't know what sound money really meant. I still had the vague idea that money was a bad thing and that problems originated with money. But then I really learned that like the false issuers of debt is the problem, and that rent seeking is actually more of a problem than instead of money itself, as the idea of exchanging value.
Like you guys were saying earlier, money is basically a tool, and that tool is broken at the moment, and that is where the issue lies. I mean, to my mind, I don't see any issue with money itself, as long as it is used correctly and it's not corrupted. And I think, as far as I can see, and part of the reason I'm so interested in this is it's pretty fucking difficult, if not impossible, to really corrupt this money. And there's no one in the middle being able to benefit from other people's suffering. And to me, it's a real chance at a free market and proper capitalism. And whether it plays out and goes the way we think it's going to or not, I'm not sure, but I feel confident, and it sounds like you guys are as well. So
yeah, it's at least a heck of a lot better than than what we have at the moment, with the unauditable like central banks that just do whatever they want at whatever emotion they feel at the moment.
The ultimate shitcoins.
Yeah.
I have a question I want to ask Kevin.
Yeah.
About I've been seeing these photos from Utrecht in Netherlands on this account Bitcoin Street Art, and most of them have one special motive. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so the motive, or the what's mentioned on the sticker, right?
Yeah, the sticker
The,
that is all around the streets in
So
Utrecht.
yeah, so I'm not sure who ordered them, but somehow I ended up with 1,000 "Be the Change" stickers. And it's actually the favorite, my favorite sort of slogan or saying from all the designs that were out there, because it's a bit funny, because in Bitcoin you always want to specify the change address to yourself, otherwise you're just sending the miners the rest of your money. So it's educational. So be the change already sort of subliminally educates them that, okay, you should be the change address.
I didn't even think of that.
but
But that's awesome that it fits.
yeah, but of course it's a Mahatma Gandhi quote that tells you to change yourself instead of changing society. So that's where the quote comes from. It was not. It's
Yeah,
not
be
really
the
because
change that you want to
yeah,
see in the world. That's the
exactly.
one. But it's also Bitcoin is the change, right? And
Yeah,
Bitcoiners are the change. And the change really comes when Bitcoiners um, take action. And
yeah.
and that's how I like to basically think about this one. But it's really nice that basically what you said with the change address,
Yeah,
that it has. I must admit, I'm a little bit ashamed that I didn't think of it.
it's quite humorous if you know it. And so yeah, the thing is in Bitcoin is everything is completely voluntary. So every Bitcoiner voluntarily chooses to change what they value and what they value their wealth in. So it's not forced upon us. So today I saw again this old lady from France shouting here from at the European Central Bank things about making the euro work for everyone, because this is something that we're gonna have to work with together. I'm like, hell no, I'm not. I'm not choosing to be in the euro. This is like some people mention, like, this is not my currency. Bitcoin is my currency. uh, it's yeah, you should not force a monetary policy upon others just because you like it, or just because you decided that should be the policy that's the best for the world. It's
You shouldn't force
I
anything on other people,
exactly there should
right?
be yeah. If you want to be a free person, then things should voluntarism is like the thing. You should allow everyone to contribute on their own time when they want, and however much they want, and people should be free to choose what money they use in their daily lives. There should not
Yeah.
be a first forced currency that we all have to abide by.
Today, I find it really fascinating how many people think that everything would drift into chaos if there wasn't a government that would tell everyone how to act and what to think and what to believe, as if they have no brains but can and it's just mind-boggling. But I must say the wool has been pulled over my eyes only a few years ago, and I think Bitcoin is also a good tool to basically clear your vision of how the world could be and visualize it, and then you get there by using this tool step by step. And yeah, I love the change sticker. That's why. And it's also
Yeah.
in reference to um, a guy on Twitter. His handle is I am the character. And
Hmm.
he got a little famous because during the riots in the United States, because of the killing of George Floyd, he was filmed by a camera team,
Hmm.
um, and he managed to make to give a little spontaneous speech that was really on point to the TV until the camera panned away, because that was not what the camera team intended that the guy would say, like
Yeah.
praising Bitcoin and as the solution to all problems. And he is also he was also on the Stefan Livara podcast, where he talked about how he's active in his community in the United States, I think in Los Angeles, and So that he was a big inspiration for that sticker, because he was basically showcasing also how Bitcoiners should be, and really taking action peacefully, educating others, be taking an active role in their local community. And I think that's really how you bring about change, really in your vicinity where you live, working with kids and youngsters, and helping them with their everyday problems, and educating them about the flaws in the economic systems that are prevalent, and also about the solution to this disease. And that is, in my opinion, Bitcoin. And yeah, so I am the character is a huge inspiration for this. Big shout outs to him seizing the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank him for that, to bring about this amazing sticker, so that we could spread the message.
Yeah, it is amazing when people will do that and put themselves out there, because it's quite a challenging thing to do. And it's normally met with quite a lot of resistance, even though you're trying to present a solution to a problem. Whereas most of the time, with almost everything else, people are talking about problems, but they're not offering a solution, and they're just complaining about these problems. Whereas when we actually offer a solution, it's normally met with uh, I don't know. I found when I've tried to have conversations with people about this kind of stuff, they really don't like the idea. They don't want to. Maybe it's they don't want to admit that the current system is stealing from them, and some of the issues there, and they just don't want to know. They just do almost. Maybe 1 in 20 people will sort of entertain the idea. Very rarely will they actually bother to do any research or go any further into it. But I don't know whether it's maybe different in Holland or in Germany or other parts of the world, but certainly in England, I find that these conversations are very hard.
Yeah, here in Holland, I think like it's one of the small nations with a lot of Bitcoiners. There's a whole bunch of developers here. There's a whole bunch of people that have played important parts in the Bitcoin core software that are housed here. And I thought on average there was a higher number of people have had like touch points or touch moments with Bitcoin compared to the rest of the world. So it's been on television a whole bunch of times, and so whenever they see the sticker, they associate the logo with the word Bitcoin, uh,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, so yeah, I guess that's why the sticker action says at this moment in time will help, because it will just give them another impulse, another touch point, because they've already heard of it and probably dismissed it because the price was going too high, and then the price was going too low, and then they thought it was dead, and
Yeah.
then they see a sticker and they think, oh, wasn't this dead? And then maybe they'll check again and see if the network is still alive, and then hey, maybe it will get them to decide to be the change and start to participate in this new network.
Mm.
Yeah, I think penetrating the streets and the real world with Bitcoin is something that can be positive for Bitcoin, because currently there are not many physical stores where we go and pay with Bitcoin. It's more a rarity. So generally, the whole Bitcoin thing is on Bitcoin Talk and on Reddit and on Twitter and on some sites that are Bitcoin specific. But even major media outlets like New York Times or so don't use Lightning Network for paywalls. So we're not even there yet. And so Bitcoin is really niche, even in the internet currently, and even more so in the real world, where there is not a lot of places, for example, where generally people, when they think about money, they like to know where they can pay with it. And so I'm not undermining here the store of value aspect of money. That is intact everywhere, and also in the internet and wherever you are. If you have your Bitcoin, then the store of value function is using you're using it in order to protect yourself from inflation, from socialized government overspending that I didn't mandate. But the medium of exchange is also a critical function of money. And we don't see that too often in the real world. And I think in order to have Bitcoin soon as a global money, this will be something that needs to pick up. And it's getting easier and easier. And also basically countering the false Bitcoin journalism, if you can call it even that, in the mainstream media. I think
Yeah.
having a touch point in the streets where someone in your local hood has tried to give a message to you, like peer to peer, really on the streets, real life, on a piece of paper or sticker. That is that I'm hoping people will see a sticker and they are thinking it's for thieves. It doesn't scale, and criminals use it to buy drugs because they're consuming I don't know, mainstream media all the time, and then they see something like freedom money or something like, I don't know, let me think, never sleeps or make war unaffordable. How does that happen? How does that work? Why is there a Bitcoin logo next to a anti-war sticker?
Or even defund the state. This is the one I liked putting on.
Yeah, defund the state is also a deep one. So you really
Yeah.
have to understand many, many things to get why Bitcoin helps with that and why it's even a good thing. And it's, I think, as Der Gigi, who is a German-speaking Bitcoiner, you may
Yeah, yeah,
know
I
for
Yeah.
his 21 lessons and stuff. He has
know.
had a really nice talk at the Value of Bitcoin conference this year, where he talked about the different entries to the Bitcoin rabbit hole, and that it depends on personal preferences, how you were brought up, what kind of experiences you had, what you're passionate about, which entrance might be the right one for you. And
Yeah.
every person has a different entrance to Bitcoin. And I'm sure there will in the future be even more or bigger variety. It's not going to be the gold bugs who understand that Bitcoin is a savings technology. It's not just going to be the Antifa who will understand that Bitcoin can stop wars and fascists, and um, not only the libertarians who will understand that it's important to defund the state, not only those people who are mad that their bank is closed in the evenings and on the weekends and doesn't do transactions because Bitcoin never sleeps, and um, that Bitcoin is a freedom money, as Alex Gladstein so beautifully explained. Oh, by the way, savings technology I think was coined by Pierre Rochard,
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
an awesome Bitcoiner. Um, Obviously, the Can't Tread on Me has, with the honey badger on it, has a
Yeah.
big
It's a good
appeal
one.
to libertarians. It's derived from the Gadsden flag, and
Yeah.
it's been
Snake.
and
Not
the
snake.
design has been done exactly with the snake, and now with the honey badger, it's not just don't tread on me, it's you can't tread on me because I'm a badass honey badger money that just doesn't give a fuck and doesn't care. And
Just gonna do my.
exactly, it's just going to do its thing. By the way, that graphic is also open sourced by an awesome designer. His Twitter name handle is Lomi, and
Ah.
he did that honey badger with the Bitcoin on it, and he open sourced it. And yeah, I thought I'd just use it. so. So it's one of the stickers. In Brazil, it's been translated to a slightly different message, but in Brazil, it's now se corrompe, which means it doesn't get corrupted.
Uh,
Because corruption is such a big thing in South America and especially in
Yeah.
Brazil. And the Brazilian Bitcoiners said we need to have now se corrompe, and and we don't really need to make war unaffordable because Brazil has never been in a war and it's not really appealing to the people here. So they said we should have acaba com a gastança, which means ends unnecessary government waste overspending kind of thing. So it's kind of like defund the state a little bit. And the Spanish library, it has, for example, Desbanca al Estado, which is especially popular among the South Americans, especially in Argentina, because they have also a lot of problems with currency devaluation and one crisis after the other. So you can see in the different countries where the stickers pop up which worries are the biggest, maybe, or what resonates with the people about Bitcoin the most. So I like to think of it about that way. Maybe we will see a structure there sometime, because all the Bitcoiners are free who participate to choose the message that resonates with them, and it's interesting which ones they're choosing in different regions. So
Oh yeah. Maybe it's something to do with psychology, right? Like what kind of state you're in. So here in Europe, where we are, there's very little government oppression. The only thing that happens is that well, here in the Netherlands, they have this anti-money laundering laws that are now forcing like Dutch Bitcoin companies to pay something like 20,000 euro in fees per year to like some big bank to do all sort of KYC practices to figure out who is trading Bitcoin and who's sending what to whom, and so that's sort of the offense I'm dealing with here. But in the other countries, the governments are like even more openly corrupt, where they just literally steal money from the treasuries.
Yeah. I've often said, like, here in England, we are masters of corruption, but we're also masters of hiding it.
Yeah.
So you don't really see it. No one really notices until you really look. But it's everywhere, and they're just. I guess they've been doing it longer than almost anywhere else, and they're masters at doing it and keeping it quiet. But
Yeah.
uh,
So Max, what do you know about the city of London? And is it true? Like the rumor I heard, and I tell it to my colleagues sometimes, and then they laugh, like, Kevin, you're crazy. Like
Yeah.
if the Royal Queen of England visits the city of London, it's like this the city in the city, London, where you're
Yes,
right now.
separate country,
Does she have to kiss like the hand and the ring of one of these guys with his mayor over there? Is it true?
basically. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, to be honest. I know that it operates very differently to everywhere else, and
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of dirty shit that goes on there. But I don't know. I don't know about that one, and I would assume that even if it was like an old law or
Yeah,
rule,
yeah,
that
it's
it
an old
wouldn't.
law. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have weird, like, there are laws here where there are some, like, if someone from the south goes up to like a part of Manchester or Leeds and tries to intrude into their property, they can legally shoot them with a bow and arrow.
Like,
And that's still a law that stands, and there's all these sort of weird old laws that that are still here. So it could well be.
I specifically like the ones that involve like royalty and like the big financial elite. So like the
Mhm.
city of London is like the location in your country, I guess, where like all the big corporations or the biggest financial corporations are situated.
Mhm.
Like, that's like the power of trade, and they I think they feel they're above the common man law. I think they believe they can get away with whatever
They don't believe it. I think they can.
they can.
I
Yeah,
think that's a
exactly.
fact.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they behave like that. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's sick. It's this is what we're talking about. This is the whole thing. Is this shouldn't happen. And it's just that's what I like about what you guys are doing. It's subtly just sort of reminding people and letting people know that this other system exists, and giving them little sort of bits of insight, and maybe piquing their interest. And I think that's such a nice way of doing it, because like I said earlier, people, if you go and say to someone, this is what's happening in the city of London, this is how the banks are operating, this is how they work with the cartels, this is how they're stealing from you, this is how all of it goes on, and you map it out for them, they're either just going to call you a conspiracy
Yeah,
theorist
that's what
or
happened
hate
to
you.
me.
Or
Yeah,
it's going to be too much at once that
Yes,
you overload them with on information, and especially on crazy sounding conspiration. And
exactly. It's crazy things going on, but if you try to report on it, the people will call you crazy because they get cognitive dissonance and they don't want to hear it. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, no one wants to know, because the truth is, like, if Bitcoin didn't stand and I knew what I knew about some of the things that go on in the world and how it really works, I'd be so depressed. I would just think, fucking hell, there's no way out of this. We're
but
finished. Like, this is bad. But yeah,
I
like, I'm
totally
just
agree with you, Max. But I disagree. I want to disagree for a second. I think the people want to know. It's just been they haven't been aware of Bitcoin yet, and because if you have a problem that it has no solution, then do you really want to dive deep into this solution or into this problem, or would you rather go to the pub and watch some Reds versus Manchester game and have a beer with your friends and chase some skirts and some easy girls and not build a family? I mean, you really the happy end is really Bitcoin, because if the problem was as it is without Bitcoin, then it would be pretty depressing. And I would probably go back to what I've been doing before Bitcoin, namely being a high time preference, instant gratification monkey that's been hopping around raves and discos and parties and really having, I don't know, didn't even know what I'd be doing tomorrow or what I did the day before. And Bitcoin changed that in a way. So I think if you have a solution like Bitcoin, then people are really interested in learning more about it. They need to be made aware of that there is a solution, and then we have to make it easy for them to get in step by step, because it's a lot to take in. And if you rush things, you will scare people away. They will feel stupid, and or they're not yet. Not many are ready for defund the state, probably,
yeah.
to understand defund the state.
Who will build the
And
road?
or what does it mean?
Chaos.
Fuck banks. I mean, the bank, I'm paying my rent all the time for 20 years with my bank, and I'm getting my pay from my employer to my bank, and my bank even gives me credit. So it's really convenient for me. Why should I? Why is it fuck banks? I mean, okay, most of those who paid attention to 2008 know why, or most of and all of those who read the Genesis block know why.
Mhm.
um, but also applied anarchism. What does it mean? I thought anarchism is really bad. I mean, it means chaos, right? And
Mm,
also capitalism means always crony capitalism, which is
Yeah.
all not true. And these are misconceptions. And these words have, I don't know, a little bit burned. And we have to win these words back, because
Yeah.
the concepts behind them are actually really good concepts that all only have been fought by the powers that be for centuries now. Um, like, just think of the anarchists in the United Kingdom, or those in Spain in the 19th century, 20th century, that have been sold out by the right wing people, and also the left wing people, and all the authoritarians, as I like to call them. And anarchist movements have always had the problem of, yeah, it's difficult to have no rulers, and it's also it's been impossible to have money without a central issuer until 2008. And power holds so much money holds so much power if you have control over that. So that is something that powerful actors don't like to see going away out of their hands. That's just horrible. It's the end for them. It's the end.
Yeah, we give them the alternative. So we give them rules. It's the consensus rules, and we take away the rulers. That's it. It's a
Yeah,
rules
and we
without
can we
rulers.
can do it now. We can do it now,
we can do
and thanks to Bitcoin.
Well, I like that you guys are confident, and it fills me with confidence to speak to other Bitcoiners, and I do every day get more confident about this stuff. And I really do feel that this is going to happen, and that it's kind of almost becoming an inevitability with the just the basic fact that this stuff is usable, it works all the time, and the incentives are aligned in such a way that it makes sense for people to get involved, especially with all the crazy shit that's going on in the world. And I just kind of see this as a ticking time bomb, and people are going to get involved with it. It just depends how long they hold out and stay on the system they're currently on. But I feel incredibly privileged to be part of it now, and to be speaking to people like you guys who are passionate about it. And yeah, I mean, thanks for what you're doing and spreading the message. It's amazing work you're doing.
Yeah, join in on the fun, Max. I want to see some photos from London soon. And
Exactly.
yeah, Bitcoin's utility is just the most amazing thing I have ever experienced when it comes to technology in my life. It's just
Yeah,
absolutely mind blowing how high the utility of Bitcoin is, and coupled with the absolute scarcity of it, it's just such a powerful tool for a person to have. And yeah, I mean, I can't imagine not being without a smartphone currently, right? So 20 years ago, I had no idea how useful a smartphone would be, but Bitcoin is even more useful than that. It's just built on it, it's in your pocket, and you can send it around the world. It's
yeah,
just beautiful.
yeah. It's awesome, and yeah, I will get involved. I'm yet to really use Lightning, to be honest, because I'm stingy with my Sats. But
Mm-hmm.
I now that I've got the node up and running, I definitely want to have a go and join the fun and get some fuck the bank stickers everywhere. Obviously, I won't be putting them there, but I'm sure someone else will do it for me.
Yeah, just hand them out to some kids in the street. They'll love it.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll figure out what to do with them faster than you can tell them.
So yeah. All right, guys. Well, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you guys wanted to, and I've missed off, or any sort of shilling that you'd like to do? Shill away. Let us know about any projects that might be coming up, or anything that you guys are doing.
Yeah, I think so. There's a couple of people that deserve some more attention that I wanted to mention. It's the Van Weerdem Sharksnado. It's like a new podcast started by a Bitcoin journalist and a Bitcoin developer, Bitcoin core developer here in the Netherlands. It's an English podcast, and they really go like into the technicals, into some crazy stuff that's happening inside the Bitcoin protocol. If you want to dive a bit deeper.
Yeah, definitely. Could you send me a link for that, and I can put
Yeah.
it in the show notes?
So I'll definitely send you a link. It's from
Perfect.
the Bitcoin magazine guys.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'll have a dig into that. That sounds awesome. And any other mentions or projects or anything?
Yeah, so definitely check out ideasarelikeflames.com. If you know someone who could be interested in learning about Bitcoin, recommend the Bitcoin awareness game where they can earn their first Bitcoin without having to spend their usual money, and
Mhm.
and they can check it out, they can learn it, and they can get their hands on it. If you're a Bitcoiner who is a little bit more advanced and like to see yeah, more Bitcoin street art in the world, maybe consider donating to the crowd fund that basically pays out the photographers around the world. So currently, the game has crowdfunded 1.5 million satoshis approximately until the 8th of August, and the payout has just crossed 1 million satoshis today. So we're at
Ooh.
2/3, and we can use a little bit more support so the game keeps going. And yeah, apart from that, check out Raspberry Blitz if you're interested in building a full node and getting your hands on and being self-sovereign and taking your financial self-defense tool and putting it to good use. Then I think Raspberry Blitz project is the best way to go. And it has many awesome apps on it. that every Bitcoiner should have in his repertoire. And I think that's enough with my shills for today. And yeah, thanks for having us, Max. And if you like to follow me on Twitter, that's underscore Pretyflaco on Twitter, and the handle of Ideas Are Like Flames is at Ideas Like Flames, and the Bitcoin Street Art channel is at BTC Street Art.
Okay, perfect. And Kevin,
Great.
do you want to just quickly show yours as well, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah. If you're interested in what I post on Twitter, you can follow me at Kevin R4V. So with the number 4. Yeah, sure. So follow me. Have a chat with me.
Perfect. All right, and yeah, again, I'll link all of this stuff in the show notes, and anything I'll send a copy out to you guys before I post it live, just to make sure I've got everything on there. But yeah, anyone who hasn't checked out Ideas Like Flames, just go and check it out. It's an awesome website, and I love what you guys are doing. So thanks for joining me, and I'm sure we will speak again soon.
Thank you, Max.
Thanks for having us, Max.
All right, nice to speak to you guys.